Welcome, internet world. My name is Jesse Connor. I am an indie game developer. Um, I feel like a brand new developer, even though I've already developed a handful of games in Unreal. None of them were released, but just went through the process of doing that. I came back to try to play in Unreal 5. Super complicated. Unreal 5 is a massive engine. So I decided to integrate all of my learning and all of my planning and such and development into Unity. So far, it's been a great move. I can't believe the progress that I've made so far in such a short time. I think I've been developing all together here on this journey for like 30 days. And I want to say within the last week, I think my last video was last Saturday or Sunday. So within 1 week, I have moved like leaps and bounds compared to where I was. And that's all thanks to just being like organized. I have a list over here on my wall. Every time I think of a feature or something that I want to complete that'll make the game feel good, look good, sound good, right on the wall, and keep chewing at it until it pops up. Currently filming this video in a sea of boxes. This absolute mess in here, trying to tear the house down, pack up, and move. So I may have another week or so that I could do development and record this journey. Then I don't know when the next devlog will be past then. As soon as I'm back up and moving, as soon as everything feels comfortable at the new house, and I'm able to sit down and start chopping at it again, I'll give everybody an update. And that's something I want to spend a second on is there's never a right time, right climate, the right gear. Like if you're waiting for the right moment, if you're waiting for the right place, it's never going to happen. You just have to take what you have and start the journey. Because the most important thing is like you're going to suck at it. So if you're waiting on gear and you buy hundreds, thousands of dollars of gear, you may still suck at it. So it's important just to like jump in and start hammering at it. So that's what I'm doing here. One step at a time, trying to make a game. There's a long list of things that I want to accomplish with this. But right now I've just taken a tutorial video and I've expanded upon it and it's become a racing game. So let's get into that. Let's get into what it looks like now. We actually have, if I can find my deal, but we actually have a name, Detour Dash. Uh, Chat GPT helped me come up with that. I've been using AI in certain aspects as well as this little logo. I edited it a little bit, but using AI to kind of push the ideas in a certain direction. Sometimes when I have creative block, I'll go ask the internet space wizard that is AI what I should do and what it should look like. Let's get into playing this thing a little bit because I do have some animations. I have one animation, I should say, and I'm still getting used to. Why does it take so long to load? Interesting. But yeah, I've got that one little flash of animation. It, I know it's wow, right? Um, that's one thing that I have to get better at is UIs and animation of UI. This is the first time I've messed with any of Unity's tools as far as that goes, but I think this is a big step compared to what it looked like last week. And then I don't have to start any type of notification what you should do. So I just click on the screen and we'll get up and moving. We now have a full level. I have a point counter that is actually working. Got some motion blur, some motion lines, kind of give the I guess some particle effects, as well as crash effects, sound effects. It restarts to 0 whenever we crash. which was something that was a challenge to get right. Let's see if I can actually make it to the end of the level without sucking real bad at my own game. But this is still the very basic movement, left, right. We always have forward movement, just doctoring it up so it feels whole and it feels like a game. And then boom. And whatever points you get carries over, will carry over to the next level when there is a next level. But if we go ahead and crash, when we restart, we've got 0. Every time we miss an obstacle, we get us some points. And that's what it is as a whole. So now I actually have a complete level. I have a game start, I have actual game functions, I have a point system, I have obstacles, and when you crash, your points get deducted. I've also done like some kind of like sub obstacles. I have gonna add in some materials like some cones, barrels, some sort of barricades that you can actually push over that won't instantly crash and restart the game. But what those will end up doing is just like deducting one, depending on I can do like 1 to 5 points, something of that nature. Um, just a case, just to add some challenge and some kind of randomness to the game. Next step, obviously, is creating the rest of the levels. I have some ideas with actual cross traffic AI, some busted, damaged bridge sections where you may have to jump over some stuff. We'll play with those as we go, but the plan is to have 2, 3, maybe a maximum of like 5 levels, and I think that'll be enough for this situation, especially for what it is. Because I can spend forever making this into something, and it's like I don't know if an extreme amount of effort warrants what this project is. Especially because I want to get this released and I want to move. I got some other stuff. I've got platformer I want to do, a top down, like a classic FPS, and I've got some courses that I'm going through to kind of get familiar with that. I just want to show. Let's move to this other screen. Boom. Let's move into the actual editor so I can kind of show you what all of this looks like. Let's actually go to level 1. All right, of course we have our map, the actual physical objects, even though I probably could have, with what this is, I could have done less. I could have done like 2D objects and this would have looked just as good. But basic setup is we have our camera and our car, and our car, we go to our bounding box, it's still just the original box. Like that's all that this was a cube. It was a cube that I replaced with a car. And it has movement attached to it and the controls for the left and right, and that's it. Like that's just those velocities are all that this is. I've got some particle systems for the VFX. I think they're just smoke, and they're always playing. All I'm doing is just triggering them on and off with keystrokes. This particle effect up here is the motion lines, which looks kind of crazy there, but they're attached to the camera, the follow camera, as well as there's a motion blur attached to it, and that just makes it gives it that speed feel. I wanted to feel like we weren't just kind of crawling along this map. Give the idea that we are actually racing. And then let's actually look into the car itself here. Get on the car. Oh, this is functioning. Wow, it's zoomed way out. So I'm using visual scripting, not actually coding out in C#. I will be in the future. It's just like this is helping me kind of map out how Unity is working and what I should be doing. So here's the actual movement for the car. Not a whole lot going on there, just a rigid body, adding some velocity to it, and then sending it down the road. There is a detection for falling in case we were able to. With this map, you can't, but in case we were, in case there was an option to fall off of this bridge, if you go below a certain point, it does the same thing. Your point zero out and you lose the game and you restart. And this is the restart function, and eventually this will be a scene loader where if you win, you lose, you go back to the map you're on. If you win, you go on to the next scene. And then we have just where we're in the red, we have where we're colliding with obstacles. This is for the car itself. There's more things that happen. All of the UI and I think the point system is set up in the obstacles, but in the car, it's just to like turn off the car sound. There's a couple one-shot sounds for like the crash effect thing. And everything gets basically run into this timer where we have like a reset where it kills the player controller. So that way you're just not like doing crazy stuff. After, I want it so when you hit an object, you lose control. When you run through the finish line, because of the UI and the cutscenes and everything else that's going to be attached, I'm going to kill the player controller as well. But not a lot of crazy stuff. I've got some FX going on for when we turn, just to kind of add a little bit to not necessarily realism, but to the look of the game, as well as sound effects, tire squeal for each time that we hit the key. We've got that going on. Let's see what else we can get up here. The obstacles. Let's get into the obstacles here. Obstacles are kind of spaghetti code. I've got a sequence of things going on. So basically, when we make collision, we want this sequence to happen. We want to play the crash UI, which is the same thing. It's basically an off state. When we crash, we turn it to an on state. Right here is the math to basically reset to 0. We got a particle effect here as well for the smoke. And the same kind of deal. We've got the timer set up just so it coincides with, or is this, oh no, this is for the crash shake. That's right. I added a second virtual camera for like a camera shake. So we want it to play the camera shake, but then we want to turn it off as soon as possible. And it just gives a kind of this fake impact feel to the game. I think the only other thing that really matters is finish. Yep, level complete. It just lets us know that it's, oh no, this is for the UI. This is all that this does. This is just going to activate the UI and whatever else. When I create a score system, I'll add this in here as well. And so whenever we cross that trigger, it pops up the UI. It'll pop up a score. It'll do whatever other things that I need it to do. And that's kind of it for code. There's not a lot. Most of it's going on in the player controller. And then the other is pretty much going on in the collision detection. That's pretty much the whole game. It's like you're moving forward, avoiding obstacles, you hit the obstacles, all of these things happen. And I think all that's in the point system is countless. Let's look at that real quick. Yeah, it's just adding 1 point per detection. It's running through the trigger on trigger event, add a point. Super simple stuff. And that's why I'm saying I do want to add a couple levels so this is a fully playable situation, but I don't want to add too much flair and too much pizzazz to this just because of what it is. These are repurposed assets. These are all assets off the asset store. If I really wanted this to be a full-fledged, I could go in and create my own stuff in Blender and come up with my own textures and which would be really fun. And at one point, we might come back to this and reskin this and redo this. But like I said, just for what this is, I think we've come far enough for level one. Level two, like I said, I want to add in some AI. Level three, we might do some crazy stuff and start jumping off of ramps. That'll take a little bit of code, but I think it's looking pretty good for less than 30 days working on a game. So we got a full functioning game loop here, and that's more than I can ask for right now. So until next time, this is it. Like I said, hopefully we'll get one more video up, or at least be able to make some more um, progress on level two. And if I hit a milestone, I'll do another video before the move. But until then, it's going to be a post move. But thanks everybody for checking out. Hit the subscribe button, like button. At some point, I'm hoping I can do a little bit more in-depth tutorial on some of the stuff I'm doing, but I am still learning a lot as I'm going through this. So once I feel like I've got Unity not mastered, but got Unity under my belt and I feel comfortable with it, I'll come in and explain some of my mindset about how I put some of this stuff together and hopefully help some people out, and hopefully this inspires some people to get in and start making some games, because it's easier than ever to make games. All right, everybody, till next time.